I am not teaching, I am publicly learning, but hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 56, The Rise of Parliament, that is on the page 27, while doing a bit standing yoga. And if you participate in this standing yoga, then that is at your own risk. So Elizabeth I was very skilled at managing Parliament. Elizabeth I, the daughter of Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII. And her time is named the Elizabethan period, and she was one of the most popular English monarchs, and that was in particular after her army had won over the Spanish Armada in 1588. And I said that they were shooting with cannons, and I don't know if they had cannons in 1588, but the longer I thought about it, the more sure I am that they did fight with cannons in that war, because in Byzance, and maybe that is the reason why we took 1485 as the end of the medieval times, because the Eastern Roman Empire with Byzance fell, and I know that in that battle cannons were used, so I'm pretty sure that in 1588 cannons were used. So I said that cannons were used by the Spanish Armada in these battles, and I think that is true, but that was never written here, and I don't know that if they had cannons on these ships. So Elizabeth I was very skilled at managing Parliament. So she was good to manage the Parliament. She was also quite good to find a middle way between the Catholicism and the Protestantism. She was Protestant, and she also ordered that everyone had to attend sermons and how. But people were not asked what religion or beliefs they actually have, and she found a way to avoid serious conflicts in England about religion and the Reformation. So she was also skilled to manage the Parliament. During her reign, she was successful in balancing her wishes and views against those of the House of Lords and those of the House of Commons, which was increasingly Protestant in its views. She was Protestant too. But we will go to a bit complicated sentence after we've done a bit of standing yoga. So we're having our feet standing together, we're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And then breathing out and just letting the arms get down. And breathe in and lift the arms up. And again out. And again in. And out and leaning back and opening the chest to the sky. And breathe again in and come up. And out and lean again back. And breathe in out to the sky. Close the hands and lean now back. And breathe again in, come up. And out and lean again back. And breathe in and come up. Let's try to understand that sentence. During her reign, so the time when she was queen, she was successful in balancing her wishes. So she had wishes what the Parliament should do. She had wishes and views against the House of Lords, or did she have wishes against the views of the House of Lords? She was successful in balancing her wishes and views against them. No, it belongs together. Her wishes and views against those of. So she had wishes and views. So she had different opinions and desires against those of the House of Lords and those of the House of Commons, which was increasingly Protestant in its views. So they mean just the House of Commons had become more Protestantistic in its views. It's a really complicated sentence. So her wishes and views against those of the House of Lords and those of the House of Commons. So that means she sometimes had different views and wishes against the House of Lords then against the House of Commons. That's a long sentence and a lot of detailed work. Let's do the next exercise and then let's look if you maybe understand it pretty directly. We are having the leg standing wide apart. One toes are pointing to that direction and the other pointing to that direction. We are lifting the arms up. We're breathing in. And we're breathing out and we go shifting over to one side. Now we're going down. Taking hold onto the leg. Then we're looking up to the other hand. Breathing in, coming back into the middle. We are switching the position of the feet, so it's both directions. We're breathing in. And out and we're shifting again forward. Now we're going over, taking hold onto the leg, looking up to the head. And we're breathing in, back into the middle. And that was a triangle, that's directly the standing cat and cow. So we're having the feet almost standing together, maybe an inch space between the toes. And we're going down, knees. We're breathing in. And out and we're hollowing the back. And breathe again in into the middle. And out and into the position of a cow. So now the back, a hole or something. Breathe in into the middle. And out into the cat. And again in into the middle. And out again into the cow. Again in into the middle. And out into the cat. Again in into the middle. And out into the cow. Now breathing in. And out we come up the round back and looking at the top of the quick shoulder roll. Let's just read that sentence and one through. During her reign, she was successful in balancing her wishes and views against those of the House of Lords and those of the House of Commons, which was increasingly Protestant in its views. I guess it's just a combination. She had wishes and views, and she was successful in balancing them against her wishes and views, balancing them to the House of Lords, and her views balancing them to the House of Commons. So not to balance the views between the House of Lords and House of Commons, but her position to them. Let's read it again, if that sentence actually does say that, because I'm not sure if a sentence wants to say that, but let's look at it if it said that grammatically and not the other way around, even not in two ways possible. She was successful in balancing her wishes and views against those of the House of Lords and those of the House of Commons, which was increasingly Protestant in its views. So it would make sense that we want to say that she balanced the House of Lords and the House of Commons as she did with the Catholics and the Protestants. And we also say that the House of Commons had become increasingly Protestant. They use which was singular. They don't mean House of Lords and House of Commons. So just the House of Commons had become increasingly Protestant. And now it would make sense if she was able to balance now them both, but they say that she was able to balance her wishes and views with the one of the House of Lords, and her wishes and views with the House of Commons. And the House of Commons had become a Protestant. I'm not sure if I want to say that, but I don't think we're going to ask for that specifically. Let's do the chair. The legs are standing again almost together, an inch space again between the toes. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And let's try to breathing out and coming up onto the toes. But now we're breathing in. And out and we're sinking down into the chair and we are keeping standing on the toes the whole time while we're doing this exercise. And we're breathing in and coming again up. And out, sinking again down. And another time, breathe in and come up. And out, down. Now last time, we're breathing in and coming up. And out, the arms down and the hips. Now we can either do yoga or we can make something to the parliament. Let's do a bit yoga. Let's end the yoga and then we come back. We're having a close standing That's of the heels are pointing to the outside and on the length space between our heels. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And we're breathing out and going down into the garden pose. We're placing the elbows against the inside of the knees. We're breathing in and we're pretending to come with the back against the wall. So breathe in. And out and we're going with the back up. Breathe again in. And out, back into the garden pose. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in. And out again with the back up. And breathe again in. And out again to the garden pose. You're breathing in. And out, we're coming up slowly in one straight line. And we're closing our feet. We're breathing in. And out, we're doing the down diving swan. Breathing in into monkey half lift. And out, and down. And halfway up and straighten the back. And out again down. Now breathe in and lift one arm. And out and straighten it up to the sky. Then look up to the sky. The other hand stays down. And breathe in. And out and the arm comes again in. And now breathe in and lift the other hand up to the sky and breathe out and lift it up to the sky and look up to the sky. And breathe in. Bring the back arm again in. Breathe in halfway up and straighten the back. And out again down. And breathe in the last time into monkey half lift. And out again down. Now breathe in. And do the, I think it's the up diving dolphin. Bring the hands to touch and breathe out. Hands down. So we have 3 minutes left for the Parliament. The rise of Parliament. So Elizabeth I was skilled and she was able to balance her wishes and views against those of the House of Lords and those of the House of Commons. And the House of Commons was increasingly Protestant in its views. James I and his son Charles I were less skilled politically. Both believed in the divine right of kings. And we have an explanation, actually, the idea that the king was directly appointed by God to rule. We know about something else. We know about that King John in 1215 had to sign the Magna Carta, which established the idea that also the king is subject to the law. And so, James I of England and James VI of Scotland, both the same person, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are reading James VI and I. James VI and I. And I'm saying that for another reason. So yeah. James VI and I. Because I'm saying that all the time. James VI, Henry VIII, Henry V, and so on. But these numbers are written in the Roman numbers. So if you encounter them in the test, there will be a V, a VI, and maybe that will mean James VI and I or something like that. That is James V and I and the first. So you should also know the Roman numbers, and I don't think that they're ever explained in this book. And they are pretty simple. I don't think they are simple if I never heard of them. It's pretty complicated. So the I means a 1. Let's do it maybe in the next one. But I'm saying it again. Maybe you will get it already, and I'm going to say it again. So the I, just one. I don't know what this is. The I is a 1. It's a 1, and 2 of them are 2. So 2 I's are 2. So 1 and 2, and 3 are just 3 of them. So if there's James III or something, James III is written with James and 3 I's. So if there's 1 I, that means that it's James I, and they are not said James I, but James I. Then, if there are 3, then it's James III. If there are 3 of these I's, that's then James and not James III, but James III. And then this V is a 5, so that is James 5 plus 1. It's 5 plus 1, so that is James VI. And it's not James 6, but James the 6. 6. I don't know. So it's James the 6. And if the I is before so the I is a smaller number, the I is a 1, and the V is a 5. And if the I is before the 5, that means minus. So it's 5 minus 1, it's the 4th. So then we have James the 4th. And if the I is behind it, then it's James the 6th. If you have 2 I's behind it, that's James the 7th. If you have 3, Henry the 8th is Henry the 3 I's, that is Henry the 8th. I thank you very much. I'm going to explain again. I don't have time. I thank you very much, and until the next time.